Now we are going to begin our next session for data science. I'll share my screen. It's visible. So the topics for today are classification. We won't discuss loss functions right now. We'll discuss a little bit about decision tree, multi-class classification, imbalance data set, and ROC curve, area under the curve. Let's begin. So what is classification? In classification, basically we build a model and we have to predict label Y based on the features X. So this is a old example of manholes, predicting events in manholes, explosion of manholes. So these are the two features for the manhole. So the year in which the cable was installed and the number of events it happened. So we have plotted this and we have got this decision boundary over here. So we can see this plus denote the manholes that exploded and minus denotes the manholes that didn't explode. So we can clearly see the differentiation between the two. And for prediction, for example, we can have a point here and we can predict whether it is plus or minus if it's in this area, it will be plus, it will be minus. So this can be used for classification. So two different classes are found, plus and minus, explosion and no explosion of mantle. So now in logistic regression, basically we use gradient descent. So it is very fast. It often competes with the best algorithm. Just a minute. Yes. Forward. PM, you wait here. Wait for at least half an hour. Okay. Let's begin. So logistic regression is basically using gradient descent. It is very, very fast. It is compared to other ML algorithms. Now we proceed to SVM, support vector machine. So it is basically a quadratic problem solver. It is a slower algorithm. So the kernels used here are different kind of kernels. We use linear kernel, polynomial kernel, or Gaussian kernel. So these can be used for non-linear transformation. We'll discuss a bit more about Gaussian kernel. So this is the kind of bump that we get here, centered around the point. These are another bumps. This could be an inverse bump. So something we get decision boundary in between. So about boosting, boosting is a moderate algorithm. It has moderate speed. It is a meta algorithm. It runs on top of other algorithms. It is a bit complicated. So the good thing again is in classification you don't have to do any calculations. The computer will do it for you. So here we treat features X and then we get vector Y. So just hit and go. Now we'll discuss about decision trees. So in decision tree we have to traverse a path. So for example, we move this side if the age is greater than 30 years, we move this side if the age is less than 30. So if we want to predict the income, maybe we can see if he has attended B school or not, and if he does his laundry or not. If he's not doing his laundry, maybe he's having less of income. So this is just a scenario. Maybe we can traverse here if he has attended more than 8 classes. She is a female. The prediction is 1. They have a good income. So these kinds of traversal paths are there until we travel to the child node. The different nodes are there in decision. So the decision tree we move from top down. It is expected to be more accurate and it is expected to be more interpretable. But this is not the case. So we often use in conjunction with the boosting algorithm. So boosting algorithm works along with decision tree. They are built upon those, so you get better results. In multi-class classification, what we do that it is not a scenario of yes or no. We have to predict whether it is a chair or a tomato or a bird or a pepper. So those kinds of things are there, and we can get some kind of value to that. That is one versus all. We can do what kind of probability is assigned to each classification. In one versus all, basically we use uh, for every class we give the confidence interval separately, and then we predict that with how much confidence we can say that it is a chair, or with how much confidence we can say it is a tomato or not. Those kinds of things are there in multi-class classification. So it is a combination of binary classification. Now we talk about imbalanced data set. So imbalanced data set are a huge problem in ML. So for decision trees, it gives a very bad result of it produces garbage. If you have imbalanced data, then 90% of the data is about males or 10% is only about the females. We have to balance the data. So there are different techniques we can use for having a balanced data set. So we can use, people are making use of true positive rate and false positive rate. One of the trick is to oversample the minority class. Another is to weight the mistakes on minority class. These are the kind of things we can do to resolve the problem. Now we discuss about ROC curve. In ROC curve, basically we discuss about false positive rate and true positive rate. So what is false positive rate? False positive rate is the number of negatives that are classified by the algorithm as positives divided by total number of negatives, and true positive rate is the total number of positives that were classified as positive divided by total number of positives. So here we get a graph like this. So this is some of the ideal cases, but we do not get such graphs in real time. This was all about imbalanced data set, ROC, multi-class, decision tree, and something about classification and the district. Thank you for today.